So I want to take a moment and thank everyone for coming. If we could, I just want to basically try to walk you through a morning of recycling. So if you want to close your eyes, if you want to stare at nothingness and think about this with me. So it's a sunny spring morning. The wind is softly blowing the new leaves on the green trees. You walk out to your front porch with a hot cup of coffee. Your lovely spring morning is replaced by the feeling of industry. Running down your street at top speed are two men chasing a large, smoke-belching recycling truck. Small green bins and your last week's trash is scattered across your yard, mingling with the recyclables from your neighbor's consumption. Your state-funded recycling bin is violently launched near your curb. These two men continue sprinting down the street, yelling directions at each other at the top of their exhaust-polluted lungs. Once a week, you can look forward to organizing your recycling. You can rinse out your plastic jugs, scraping off the food from your cardboard boxes, bringing stuff out to the curb early in the morning to come home that day and pick up all your trash again that was scattered and didn't quite make it inside the truck. To locate your recycling bins, to place them back in your house, possibly rinse out your recycling bins from the last week's residue. That's the joy of recycling that you get to look forward to every week. As a citizen of the United States, I like to show why consumer recycling should be limited a little bit more in the United States. Excuse me. The amount of consumer-based recycling in the United States grew from a $4.5 billion industry to a $260 billion industry in the last 40 years. Mainly a lot of that's because it started being enforced by the federal and state government. So recycling became enforced within the school districts, within inside of hospitals, within inside of nursing homes, within inside of grocery stores. And our taxpayer money is being pushed more towards recycling on a daily basis. Even our city recycling is a state-funded recycling, tax money going towards the recycling industry. This money pays for campaign costs, trucks, labor, recycling sites, and various chemicals used to break down some of these plastics, cardboards, and glass that we recycle. Most people would consider the cost of recycling a sacrifice for the greater good, a sacrifice for the world, for the environment. But what we actually see is that recycling in itself doesn't really resolve much of the problem that we actually have. According to the Freeman Institute, they're a nonprofit institute that works with nothing but environmentalism. They say the process of recycling only really happens when old trash is turned into new trash, or turned into new products, useful products that the market demands. Some of the trash we put on the curbside actually ends up in a landfill or stored in a warehouse with no place to go because it's not reusable, mainly because it's not something that people want to repurchase. Some recyclables end up in our trash, and our trash ends up in landfills. Then some of our recycling ends up in landfills. So why do we continue to spend so much time and money recycling when it just ends up in a landfill anywhere in a warehouse? You can help this crisis by considering other means of reusable resources. You can investigate other products that don't require to be recycled. Glass and milk cartons, brewing your own beer and bottling your own beer instead of buying beer. Reusing diapers instead of buying diapers and throwing them away. These are all ways of reusing what you already have, reusing the products that you already buy, instead of simply throwing them away. You may also want to invest some of your time and money in more environmentally friendly organizations, nonprofit organizations, whether faith-based or secular, organizations such as Cradle to Cradle, Property and Environmental Research Center, and the Eco World. As we find a solution for one less piece of semi-usable garbage, the total amount of America's pollution will decrease. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, on May 10th of 2009, there were approximately 300 million people living in America alone. If half of these people recycled one less piece of garbage a week, that could cut back a $260 billion business into a $130 billion business a year, thus saving the American population a lot more tax money that can be used to other projects, such as more eco-friendly projects, better transportation, better housing, better care for the world's poor. On top of saving limited funds on recycling, you will also be cutting down excess air pollution, hazardous chemicals, and bloated salary of recycling industries. All the trucks, all the labor, all the warehouses, all the chemicals used to recycle, again, is a $260 billion business a year. Cut that back again, leaves more money to invest into other areas. So I want to encourage everyone to help out the environment on whatever level you want to commit to. Whether it's continuing to overflow your green bin with trash that may or may not be recyclable, or continue to investigate and think about other ways to get involved, other ways to cut back on the amount of consumption and recycling that you use, and consider thinking about investing in other areas. Thank you.